In this episode, I ran the numbers, and we're going to take a look and see how my account fared playing in Wild with the new Wild Season Pass fee implemented, and answer a question that's on a lot of people's minds. How much exactly are you making, and is it worth it to continue playing in Wild with the new fee imposed? We're also going to spend some Glint in the Glint store, a tongue twister, and try to upgrade my deck. If this sounds interesting to you, please stand by. Hey, all you Splinterheads, welcome back. Bronze Dragon here saying, hey, thanks for dropping by. I appreciate your time. If you continue to enjoy this type of content, please like and subscribe. Pass it around to people that you know that may enjoy Splinterlands content. I appreciate it. With that said, let's go ahead and dive in. Today was end of season, and this will have been the first season with the new Wild Season Pass imposed. So one of the biggest or most frequent questions I've received over the last 2 weeks under videos and in my live streams is basically to the intent of, is it still worth it to you to play in Wild with your Archmage bot with the new Season Pass fee imposed? And that's an interesting question, and it really boils down to several different variables, okay? The main variable overall that the team wants to get out as well, I believe, is that there is a certain amount of worth that's relegated to not just what you're making off the game, but how much fun, enjoyment, etc. you're also making off the game. So there's that aspect. Then all the way at the other end of the spectrum is or are the people that are just doing the numbers and figuring out from an investment point of view how much money they are making off of their account, and they consider the cards more investment cards and everything else within the game, you know, the SPS staking and everything, more of an investment than an actual game. So depending upon where you fall in that spectrum, you might have a different opinion, or you will definitely have a different opinion about this. So with that said, all I can do is bring you the numbers from my account specifically, and then you can compare what you've found over the first season. And you know, I also want to hear from those people playing in Modern as well. I would like to hear the other side of the coin on how you feel that since the new Wild Season Pass has been implemented, if you're playing in Modern, how has it affected you? Okay, so I'd like to hear that, as well as people who are still playing in Wild with a bot or even without a bot, how it's affected you in the comments. So I'm just trying to take a good average and hear from everybody. But as we know, the main thing that's going to affect your earnings now, obviously, is how good is your deck, how good you play it or your bot plays it. And then also now in Wild is the amount of SPS staking has doubled that you need to earn X SPS back from the game or Glint. So let's go ahead and jump over. I've prepared some slides with numbers that are specifically for my account findings. Okay, so what I did was I did an average looking at my account 7 different times. I didn't take an average every day of the season, but I did it 7 different times within the season, and it was basically every other day during the season, and I thought that would be a good average to work with. Okay, so starting off, my main account has 68,000 SPS staked, and in Wild, that is now going to heavily impact how much you make out of the game off of win matches. Okay, so I looked into a few different websites where I found that my account would definitely be in the top 50%, between the top 20 and top 50% of SPS staked. I just use 50% because there are several different variables. I used the average of the number of accounts active on a daily basis in this last season and divided it out. Obviously, there's a lot of accounts that probably have SPS staked that didn't play. So just to be fair, this account is in the top 50% of SPS staked of all accounts. So now, Next up, I did a comparison between this season and last season that did not have the fee. Okay, so this season, and keep in mind the SPS staked has gone up a little bit, but not so much that it should overall impact the numbers a whole lot. For instance, like I said, I don't really take SPS out of the game. I just roll it over and stake it. And obviously, whenever I claim off my lands, that's staked. So it has went up a little bit, but not so much that I feel that it would impact things. Okay, so with that said, at the end of this season, I earned almost 69,000 Glint. Okay, 68,974. The end of last season, I earned 80,000, and that's last season. I went back to one of my videos to check it out. I don't have an exact number, but I did quote 80,000, so it would have been 80,000 and change somewhere. So, but that's a good comparison. So overall, I made less Glint, like about 11,000 and change Glint, right? Less. Now the next comparison is the end of season SPS average per win did go up, and a lot of people are touting this. Okay, a lot of people, that was one of the main things that a lot of people touted with this new system, is that the SPS per win would go up because there are fewer bots in to take out of the pool. And this is true. My average did go up. It went up from 1.5 to 2. However, one thing that a lot of people are not looking at, and you have to look at this, is the amount of wins you're getting. My amount of wins, due to the competition getting stiffer, went way down. Okay, so my average wins went down from 12 per day to 7. Okay, so that heavily impacted my next thing that I looked at, which was average SPS with wins per day. Okay, so in this season it was 14 SPS. In last season, even though I got fewer SPS per win, I got more SPS per day because I got more wins. Okay, and then this next section, you see that I did the math. The SPS per season in this season was 196 minus the 69 I paid to the Archmage bot. I wanted to be accurate here and take an accurate look at what I'm making. And that comes out to 127 SPS on average per day. Now, or per season rather, sorry. Now, the next is last season was an average of 164 SPS for the season after the fee was removed for Archmage. Okay, and if you're interested, you don't use Archmage. Archmage does impose 35% if you have a standard license. If you use Xbot, the numbers are going to be a little bit different. Okay. But I think overall the comparison is valid. Now, next up, what we did was we did final tallies. Okay, so the end of season for this season was 127 SPS, which equaled at this current numbers about 95 cents. And then you have to take away the 68 cents for the vouchers I paid to play in the season, which was a current value. Okay, so, and last season, obviously, we didn't have a fee, so I had 164 SPS, which at current rate was about $1.24 worth. Now, where does that leave us? You know, this season, an average of 27 cents I made for the entire season, and almost 69,000 Glint. Okay, it's hard to put a value on Glint, right? But I have to put that there because it was earned, and that's the majority of what you earn off of playing now. Now, prior season, I made $1.24, which was a little bit less than $1 more than I did, plus 80,000 Glint. Next up, let's look at my secondary account, which was in a completely different situation. Very low amount of SPS staked, and it had on average much lower level cards. My secondary account plays with another guild that I enjoy playing with, but it has on average what I would call high-end silver cards and a low amount of SPS stake. So let's take a look at what I found for this past season with this secondary account playing in Wild with a new Wild fee. And then after that, we're going to draw some conclusions. Okay, like I said, this secondary account has much lower level cards, plus it has much less SPS staked. So this account, first of all, shout out to a guildmate who actually delegated 12,000 SPS staked to this account for this season. I appreciate it. We were kind of taking a look at how it would affect, and he was trying trying to affect the outcome, and he was also trying to help out. So I do appreciate that. Now, this account right up front only has about 3,000, a little bit over 3,000 staked, because I've never really put a whole lot into it. I've just kept rolling it over the years. And then he staked to 12,000. So I was not able to do a direct comparison versus last season, because 3,800 versus 15,800 is not a direct comparison. Either way, this is what it looks like from this. If you're kind of in this situation, this is what you can expect. Okay, like I said, this account has what I would consider high-level silver cards, and this is the comparison with almost 16,000 SPS staked. So at the end of this season, I made 15,481 Glint. Okay. Now the average SPS per win was 0.57, so a little bit more than half an SPS per win was my average. Considering my average wins per day, this came out to almost 7, a little bit under 7 SPS per day. So 6.84 SPS per day was my average. Now my SPS per season, that comes out to 96 SPS per season, minus the 34 that is the Archmage fee, equals this account made 62 SPS for the season. Now, if you look at the numbers, you see 62 SPS is roughly equal to about 47 cents currently, minus the 68 cents that I had to pay in vouchers to play for the season. So as you can see, I came out with a negative number. So I ended up negative 21 cents on this account, but positive 15,481 Glint. Okay. So where does that leave us? I had to think long and hard about this and what my opinion was currently. And right up front, I am leaving both of my accounts currently going for another season. I understand that my secondary account will be in the negative, but we'll cover that in a minute. Where does that lead me? Okay, so my primary account is profitable, barely. Okay, so I think my opinion is if you have a halfway decent account, you're running Archmage or Xbot, and you have over maybe 60,000 SPS staked, you have a halfway decent amount, like over 6 or 7 wins per day, then you're doing pretty good. It's profitable. If not, not so much. That segues into my secondary account. Okay, that's kind of the opposite of my primary, in that it has very low amount of SPS staked, and unless I wanted to, it does get a fair amount of wins, but due to the amount of SPS staked, I get very little for those wins. And unless I wanted to invest about $120 to $130 more to bring myself above 20,000 SPS staked to kind of get it into that, what I would consider like a mediocre break-even point, you're going to be losing. Now, with all that said, the one variable there that's hard to quantify is Glint. Okay, so which we're getting ready to go in and spend some Glint in the Glint store. You know, I think that that encroaches upon the whole idea of where you think this game is going, right? And a lot of the other people who put out content talk about this as well. Is if you are bullish on, or you don't even have to be bullish. You have to think that Splinterlands has a solid footing. They have a decent team. They're going to keep going. At this point, they've been going, I think, 6 years now, right? Which is forever in Web3, you know? So I think that it borders on, do I keep going and just make a very minimal profit with my account at this point? For me, the answer is yes, okay? So I'll be upfront. I haven't sunk a huge amount of money. I haven't upgraded my cards lately. I haven't done any upgrades on land lately. I have bought a few buckets of SPS and DEC, a little bit. But I haven't put a whole lot into the game lately. And frankly, it's because I was trying to see how this was going to shake out. So Am I bullish for the future of Splinterlands? I think it's a good solid, they've got a good solid direction they're going in. I don't know exactly if I'm going to put a whole lot of more money into it at this point in time, but I'm going to keep playing my primary account. Now, my secondary account, I'm still in question. Obviously, I've already paid for the Wild season fee for this season because I wanted to go at least 2 seasons and see how everything shook out. But I think my opinion now is still that with my secondary account, low-end accounts, will find it very hard unless you're very positive about Glint and using Glint to advance your card deck strength by buying chests and such and getting better soulbound cards. You're basically paying for that because you'll be in the negative at the end of the season compared to the fee you pay. And that's all on a personal, you have to think about it yourself and draw your own conclusions. But as time goes on, at the end of next season, we'll take another look at it and see where we stand as well. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and dive in and spend some Glint. Let's go into the shop. Now, if you've been following me, you know that I've been trying to max out my soulbound summoners, which I am pretty close to. But let's go ahead and start off with what I always do. And I buy a couple batches of merits. So let's buy those because I think that these type of cards that you buy at the merits will be are high value, high play value. They bring a lot of strength to your deck. So the price does go up, but I still think that it's worth getting a couple batches of these every season. Okay. Now let's go back to the shop. Now, I've been doing rare draws specifically to be able to try and max out my summoners. So let's go ahead and go in with 50 rare draws. And I am not, might as well. I got plenty of potions. Okay, let's go ahead and reveal all, and then we'll take a look back. It's usually been working out about half and half. They're obviously all rare, but about half of them, hey, gold foil, end up being summoners, which is what I'm looking at. Another gold foil, nice. 2 gold foils, unless I missed one. Both the same. 2 Ravenhood Wardens, which is a good card. Okay, let's go ahead and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So less than 50% on the summoners on this go around. Okay, so let's go ahead and do 50 major chests. Let's go back. I want to check how much Glint I have. So I have 500,000 Glint. We can go ahead and let's just do 50 major chests. Might as well use potions. Okay, let's hit a reveal all. Bunch of merits. I said this last time. I said I should have done the chests before I bought the merits because I always end up with a bunch of merits. Should have remembered that. Coastal Sentry. If you're not aware, this is a pretty solid common card to be used with that double strike. More Coastal Sentries. Okay, so I got a fair amount of merits, a few energy. I can pump up the bot a little bit. Helios Matriarch. A few potions. Okay, nothing exciting. Pretty solid with the merits. I'll be able to buy several cases. Okay, and let's just do 15 ultimate chests just for fun of it. And use potions. Okay. Bunch of merits. Once again, a bunch of merits. Nothing exciting otherwise. So let's go into the shop. We can buy several, go into the guild shop. We have 23, should be 11 Gladius cases, and then we can open them. Okay. Now let's go back and I want to, our guild can buy bloodstones but not power stones right now. Let me see how many total packs I have to open, or Gladius cases. I have 16. So 16 times 5 is 80. So I will need 80 bloodstones, and I want to pay with merits. So let's, I don't have enough to purchase. Okay. So I have enough to buy 26 of them. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, let's go ahead and open them. Cross our fingers. Do all 16. See what we come up with. Let's open all. See if we get anything shiny. Captain Katie. It's shaking, baby. Zulak Nightwind. I have another one of him, but I couldn't tell you if I've ever used him in a battle. I like Isgald Vorst once in a while. Gold foil. Let's see here. Captain Katie, of course, is an all-time favorite of a lot of people. I like Ajax Lightfoot in lower level matches or all range matches. Of course, Katrelba Gobson and Bertrald Gobson, two of my favorites. Cutter Breeze once in a while in the extremely low. It's like you have such a low amount of mana and you want to try to always fit in one of these Gladius cards in because they are very strong and a lot of times they make or break a match. So, you know, overall, a fair draw here. Nothing super exciting, though. So, but, you know, that's it. So, I hope you found this episode interesting, going through the numbers with me. I appreciate you stopping by, and I appreciate you all the likes and subscribes. So we're almost to, let's see here, we're almost to 800 subscribers. So I appreciate everybody. So I hope everyone on your side is happy and healthy, and I will see you in Splinterlands.